Hey everyone, welcome to the video. I'm Amy and I post new videos every week. In today's video, we are going to be talking all about Pat McGrath's brand new holiday release, the Mothership Mega Celestial Odyssey palette. I picked this up as soon as it launched, and when I got it in the mail about a week or two ago, actually, I posted over on my Instagram. I asked you guys if you would like to see a first impressions with creating one look, or if you would like to see like a swatch everything in a big swatch comparison video, or if you would like just like an overall full review including multiple looks and swatches, and you guys chose the last one there. So that's what we're gonna do today. If you didn't get to vote on that because you don't follow me on Instagram, and you do have an Instagram, maybe you should head over and follow me on Instagram, because maybe sometimes I'm gonna ask things like that and then you would get your say, you know? But spoiler alert, I love this palette, and if you want to see more videos using it, comment down below and what kind of video you would like to see, and maybe I will do that because there's a lot of here to work with, okay? But yeah, if that sounds like your kind of content, go ahead and like this video so I know you like it, and subscribe so that you don't miss out on my next one, and let's go ahead and get into it. Also, I want to mention this is like the outer box, and it does match exactly what we're looking at here, so I'm not going to talk about the outer box very much. This box, the packaging, okay, I don't love red, but I look great in red, and also I love red and pink paired together, which is a very usually people like don't like those paired together, just like they don't like black and brown and things like that. But I love pink and red. Like that's my one of my favorite ways to pair red, and so I really think this packaging is super cute. I understand that they made it a little bit thicker and they added the like lacquered back to make it feel a little bit more high-end compared to last year's holiday palette, because this one is, let me go ahead and show you the size comparison. So last year's is a little bit smaller overall in dimension, a lot thinner, and they do both have really great mirrors. Let's see, really great mirrors, great quality mirrors. And they both have these stupid ribbon things, which are very annoying because it's not long enough to where this will just lay back on its own. It wants to close constantly on its own. So last year I did cut the ribbons off, because if I'm going to use the mirror, I'm probably going to be holding it. It's not going to be sitting down here because that's looking at my chest. That's way too low unless I had something like all the way up here. So I think that's really stupid. I much prefer the thin, lightweight package like this. I do understand that this cardboard backing made this one look a little bit cheaper, but I wonder if they could have added just a nicer looking backing like this into something like this. You know, is there a reason that it has to be this thick? Or could they have just done like let me look at some other palettes I have. Let's see. Maybe using like gold, because this is cardboard and it is thin, okay? But I just think that matte black, or even if they made it like a metallic black, you know what I mean? Like a reflective black. This matte black is what makes it maybe look a little bit cheaper, you know, compared to like even this looks a little bit nicer quality. I think the problem here was the matteness of this made this look more cheaply made. But size and like the feeling of this, I much prefer to the bulkiness of this. This feels like I'm carrying a laptop, whereas this feels much more palette-y to me. So just wanted to mention that really quick before we get into it, but about the packaging. And it sucks because now I like have a collection of these large palettes and they're not the same size, you know? But I mean, overall they like look very similar on the outer packaging. They've got this like Baroque style opalescence, literally making up words. Like I don't know. Sure. You know, Pat McGrath style for sure. But just saying, I prefer this size of packaging to this size. So yeah. All right, so before we get into like the final review and all the other looks that I created, I thought I would create one look on camera with you here. Today is my birthday. So I'm going all orange. Don't know why. Well, I do know why. My favorite colors are blue and orange. Orange and blue. So if you didn't know, now you know. And it's fall, so orange just really fits. And I haven't, let me show you the palette. I haven't gotten to dip into this orange shade yet. So that is what I want to do today. The thing I love about Pat's mattes, sorry, I didn't think I was going to talk, but here I am. But the thing I love is they are so pigmented, but they blend so far. So I could like place this with a smaller brush and get this really pigmented look, or I could blend it out like I did here and get a nice transition all the way up to the brow bone, you know? And not a lot of shadows do that. You know, they'll get patchy if you work with them too much, or they don't have enough pigment to really go that far. But Pat's always do. They're so good. That's so pretty. Look at how vibrant it is. It's not, like, it's got like depth and like rustiness to it, but the like brightness is really like punchy. Love it. All right, I'm gonna go off camera real quick and throw in some mascara. This is the entirety of this look. All right, so I am back. I've got mascara on. I also did throw on a little bit of the blush, the Pat McGrath Desert Orchid, because it's a little bit warmer, but it's still kind of like a nudie pink color, and I felt like it just went with the whole situation we're doing here. So I'm gonna just talk about my thoughts and feelings, and in order to save some time, I'm going to start like popping in the pictures of the other looks I created, because I created quite a few, but I didn't get a lot of great pictures because I'm really bad at taking pictures of my eyes. So let me just shut up and I'll show you. Mothership Mega Celestial Odyssey. 5 luxe finishes, structures, and highlights. Creamy textures, effortless blending, one stroke color release, extreme adherence, use wet or dry. 18 shades, 1.1 gram each. That's what the website has to say about it. So $78 for 18 shades, $4.30 each. So in order to kind of break down this price into worthiness, because $78 is definitely like a high-end price, right? But for a quad of this, it would be $17. Or if she released a 5-pan of this, similar to Natasha Denona's 5 pans, this in a 5-pan would be $21.66. So it would be less expensive than the smaller Natasha Denona 5 pans. So I just want to put that perspective out there. I personally think Pat McGrath formulas are way above and beyond better than Natasha Denona's. I like Natasha Denona's stuff, like it's fine, but I personally, and my own experience, based on my preferences and what I like and what I have tried, Natasha Denona does not really hit the mark for me being worthy of that price. Whereas if you have watched anything on my channel before, you will know Pat McGrath does. And I think her holiday releases, these last 2 things that she's done, creating this larger palette, giving a wider variety and multi, finish, is the best bang for your buck. I know a lot of people who don't have a big budget who want to try Pat McGrath end up going for one of her quads, which I totally understand, but I really truly believe that, and I've only tried this one quad. This is Flora Fantasia, and I think it's beautiful, but I feel like if I had gotten this quad before ever trying anything else of hers, I probably wouldn't have the high esteem that I do towards her shadows. My favorite affordable ones of hers are actually these ones right here. I think these are the formula. This is like the best one. But also the megas. But for your buck, if you can find one of these ones, and I believe she still does have This one, these are great shades. A little bit, you know, funky because you got this like purpley color and this really deep color and this kind of green, but overall it's a pretty neutral, warm tone or earth toned kind of situation. So if you can find those, I would recommend get that if you just want to taste. If you just want to see like what's the hype about, that's my recommendation. But if you have tried one of those and you want a full palette, or if you daydream about the Pat McGrath palettes, the mothership palettes, and you just know that you're not going to, like, that's not worth it for you, it's not enough, I really, 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 really think that these holiday releases, this one, amazing. 100 out of 100. Like, or 100 out of 10. I've got last year's here also, which I ended up cutting the ribbons because it gets really annoying after a while. I think this one is beautiful, and I really love so much. Like, so many shades in here are things that, like, when I'm creating a look, I'm like, yeah, I want to go grab that palette for that shade, you know? But this one is a lot more, like, deep and colorful, and lots of purples and greens, and a lot of it is like, I don't feel like this one's as wearable, is basically what I'm trying to get at. Like, this one is, if you are ready to have fun with your eyeshadow, this one was amazing for that. If she ever brought this back, I would recommend getting it. I do think it is a wonderful palette. But this one is, it is extraterrestrial, but it is also very terrestrial. You know, it's got like an actual neutral brown. This is not a purpley brown, a maroon, a burgundy, anything like that. This is a deep neutral chocolate brown, which already expands everything that she's got. You know what I mean? Like, a lot of what she has is colorful with some neutrality to it, some everyday shades to it. Whereas this, I believe, is mostly everyday with a few pops of color in it, which I think makes it even more universal. And there are formats in this one. I think there was only 3. Yeah, there were only 3 in last year's, and they were like pink, this like burgundy color, and this like deep wine color right here. So, I mean, this one, it gave you, I personally, she could give me a whole thing of just the metallics and stuff like that. I do love her matte formula, but I love her metallics and her glitters and her, all those special shades so much that she could give me something without any mattes, and I'd be like, great, perfect. This will be my main metallic palette, and I would just use companion palettes. But thinking of what she gives you with a lot of her palettes is she's not giving you cool and warm, where this one, this new one, she really did. She gave you this like orangey mid-tone brown and this neutral brown, which means that you can make looks with no pink in them at all, which is, it's not new for Pat, but in the most recent years, it's been a lot of pink. And I know that a lot of people love pinks. A lot of people love purples. That is a really loved color, but there are some people that are like, dang, I really just don't look good in pink, or don't really like wearing pink, or I think it makes me look like I have pink eye. There's a lot of people that have that. So I feel like this, it's just so good. It's just so good. It hurts. It hurts how good this is. Oh, there are so many shades in here that I'm like, this is my favorite shade ever. This green is unreal. This orange is unreal. This lavender, like the most pale lavender in the entire world, unreal. This shade right here looks almost like it would be like a bronze shade, but when you use it, it is so wet, metallic, unreal. This right here, this bronzy one, like, oh my gosh, I love a brown metallic, so good. I feel like I'm not making any complete sentences, but I hope it's coming across. Now, a couple things that I find that are a little bit different in this palette than previous palettes that I own of hers, and I own a lot of her palettes, is that there are a lot more micro glitters. A lot of her other palettes haven't had, I feel like there's more glitter. I haven't actually compared this to know if this is fact, but in my mind, based on the looks that I created, I feel like there are more glitter particles, which is not my jam actually, but I do think they're beautiful because they are paired in a metallic, and I love metallics. Okay, I'm pulling these out so that these being her palettes, so I can look around and see if I see any like duplicates or anything close to a duplicate. When I was using these, I didn't think anything felt like too familiar. There are people out there that are like way more versed in Pat McGrath that would be able to tell you like, oh, this is a repeat shade, or this is from a discontinued palette, or whatever. I can't do that for you. I can just like look at what I have personally and see if anything is, you know, familiar. Okay, I've got similar, but they are different textures altogether, and they're a little bit different of a shade. So in the, what is this called? Platinum Bronze, the 6-pan, which is one of my favorites. I wish you would bring it back or reinvent it. There's this shade right here. It's kind of like a mid-tone taupey color. And this one is a thinner texture, and it has glitter, and it's right there. And you can see it's got like a taupe base to it, whereas this one called Palladium right there, it is very much a taupe, but it's more of a metallic. As you can see, it's like molten and very reflective compared to the other one, but they are in the same like tone family. I think you can see right there. They're very similar tone, but the way they read to the eyes is quite different. It reads more like what you see here. So that's close, but this is also discontinued. So, okay, Peach Dusk from the Rose Decadence, which is right here. I've got it compared to Electric, right there, from this palette. And Electric, okay, this is Peach Dusk, and this is Electric. And as you can see, Peach Dusk is paler and much more peachy, whereas this one is got more red to it, and it's deeper. Okay, I was gonna say Venetian Orchid and Saturn Sunset, right? Yeah, Saturn Sunset right here. They look similar in the pan, but then when I do them side by side, this is Venetian Orchid and this is Sunset, Saturn Sunset. And Saturn Sunset is deeper and a little bit more of like a red undertone, where the one from last year's holiday palette is much more mauvey. I don't know if you can see that, but in person it is way more leaning purple, whereas this one's way more leaning red, the new one. I don't think I see any other duplicates from last year's holiday palette. Looking at them, none look really remotely similar at all. The tones of the palettes are so different. Let's see if I can pick these up. Okay, maybe the golds in this, which is Gold Standard and Gold Galaxy right there. They're similar, but I don't know if you can tell, they are different textures. The one from this little guy right here is more sheer and more of like a topper with a little bit of a base, whereas the one from the holiday palette is a like molten metallic. It's got a lot of depth, or a lot of pigment, and it's very opaque. The only other thing I can think that's kind of similar would be the blue, but I know that they are not the same because the tone is not the same. Texture, close. Tone, no. The one from the little palette is much more blue. Here, let me show you. Yeah, texture, similar. This one is from the little palette and this one is from the holiday palette. It's much more of like a mermaid teal blue, whereas this one is much more like a blue, a true blue. So there's that. I'm looking at this palette now, and this color here, this gold, is Utopia. Might be kind of similar to the one that I put on my brow bone. It is a very similar formula and color, but as you can see, this is the one from the quad, and this is the one from the holiday palette. The quad one is a lot more sheer and pale, and this one has a lot more depth to it, as you can see. I'll go ahead and swatch the lavender blue, but I don't think that they are similar. The lavender blue compared to Lunar Haze. Oh yeah, they're totally different formula. And look at the colors. Ugh. First of all, they're both beautiful colors. Oh my gosh. Okay, stop. Lunar Haze is this metallic taupey lavender color, whereas lavender blue is lavender and blue. Oh my gosh, look at how metallic that is. It's so pretty. Ugh. Love it. Okay. I was thinking maybe this brown shade would be close to that brown metallic, but they're not. Like the one in the holiday palette is a lot more like a deep chocolate brown, and the one in here is like a little bit more of like a green undertone almost. Let's see. So this is the one from the small palette, and this is the one from the new holiday palette. You can see it's a lot more rich chocolatey, whereas this one has got like a grungy gold undertone to it. It looks much more like an antique kind of color, whereas this one is much more of like a deep chocolate. I can say like maybe from the Utopian Dream, this chocolate, oh my gosh, I don't know what happened to my lighting there. This chocolate is a little bit closer, but it's more rosy and has glitter in it, whereas these two are just metallic. So I think you can tell that's a lot more like a coppery brown, whereas this one's like a chocolate brown. I don't see any other dupes really there. I'm not seeing anything in Mothership 2. Oh, definitely not seeing anything in Mothership 1. Like maybe the brown. Let me look at the brown. Yeah, no. Yeah, this is the brown from Mothership, Divine Rose 1. It's closer to this one. It's got that kind of like grungy, orangey green kind of undertone, not the chocolatey brown undertone. The Skin Show Nude shade from Divine Rose 1 is maybe a similar tone to the sparkle that's in the holiday palette. Oh, you can't see that at all. The holiday palette is a little bit more pink and it's a lot more glittery. This Galactic Glow shade. I can compare it to the Astral Blitz also. Yeah. I don't know if you can see this, but this is the holiday palette. This is the Astral Blitz and the Skin Show Nude shade from Divine Rose 1. This one is a little bit more pink to it, and it's like a mix of the two formulas. It's got that Skin Show base, but it does have that like kind of galactic top. What? Kind of sparkly, what? Astral Blitz kind of sparkle at the top. I've got my Mothership 2 here, and yeah, not seeing anything. I do want to show you these two greens next to each other because they are so incredibly different. So this is the one from Mothership 2. It is this deep forest with like a black base, and this one here is Citrine Envy from the Odyssey one, whatever it is. Different. They are both like a bajillion glitters to them kind of moment, But as you can see, this one has like a dark base. When I'm looking at it here, it looks like black and purple. But to you, it's like green. And then this one is like a bright, bright, bright green. So they're just different. And then I have the Mothership one, which, yeah, there's absolutely nothing similar about these at all. I love this one. Why don't I pull this out more? Anyways, that is all the palettes that I have. Those are the closest, but as you can see, there's not really any dupes here. I mean, I think these are maybe the closest to dupes, but they're totally different formulas. But otherwise, like, none of these really look alike. I do not have all of her stuff, so I can't tell you if there are duplicates in some of it. So go to someone else and they would be able to tell you. I will go ahead and put Kinky Sweat's video down below because she knows way more about Pat McGrath in the history than I do. So if you want to get more in depth there, go ahead and look. But overall, guys, I love this so much. I'm so glad. Like, listen, if this were another mauvey, purpley, pinky toned situation, I probably still would have bought it because I do think that these palettes that she's come out with, these mega palettes, are totally worth the money. Like 100% worth the money. You know your wallet more than I know your wallet, so don't just buy it based on my recommendation. If you were looking to spend that, you want to put something on a Christmas wish list, your birthday's coming up, something like that, I say go for it. I don't think you will be disappointed. I don't think there's any way you could be disappointed, honestly. But again, if you wear like a tan shade in your crease and absolutely nothing else on your eyes, maybe this is going to be way too much for you. But if you do want to get into makeup, or you do really love having fun with eyeshadows, I mean, this was a very simple look. It didn't take me long to do. I would consider this a pretty everyday look, especially for the fall time. So for me, like, there's very wearable everyday looks that you can get out of this one specifically compared to a lot of stuff that is in her lineup and all of her other releases, you know? So I do think that this is very wearable. Like, let's just hide the green and maybe the blue and the orange. And just, doesn't that look very wearable? I don't know what to tell you. I love it. I think it is 100% worth the money. $78. If you can find a 10% off coupon, I think go for it. I mean, I don't know. This one might be like my new favorite of her shadows or her palettes, because it has so many colors that are like the perfect color of my perfect colors. Like, if I were to have only, you know, let's say 8 shades in my entire collection, I'm gonna want a warm crease shade and a cool crease shade. Okay, I really don't usually go too deep, but I would like a dark brown if I want to deepen up or if I want to use a liner. Okay, and then I would like a metallic that is a bright green color, a bright purpley shade, like a lilac, lavender shade. I would love a like rusty brown metallic, a pink metallic, and then like a taupey color. And then if I want, I'm gonna add one more. I would love to have like a super bright inner corner, and this has every single one of those and more for me. Okay, it has, now I didn't mention the orange that's on my eyes. I love it, but this is not a shade that would be like, if I only had 10 shadows in my collection, I probably wouldn't think of an orange. But you know, this color right here, yes. 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 This color right here, this color, this color, this, like, so many of these are like everything I could ever ask for, is what I'm trying to say. There are, like, oh gosh, I don't even know. Like, I'm gonna shut up because I've literally been talking for an hour. This video cannot be an hour long, so I'm gonna shut up now. But I'm just saying, 100% worth the money. I actually love this more than last year's palette, and I love this. I think this is my brand new favorite Pat McGrath palette. That's in my collection, at least. So, take that with your little grain of salt. Continue your investigation on if you need to buy it. But if you just needed one more person to tell you it's worth it, then let me be that one more person. So I've been using this for like 10 days straight now, and I want to continue to use it. I'm not bored of it yet. I don't feel like I've reached all of the color combinations and looks that I could create out of it. I am ready to continue using it. So yeah, that is all I've got for you guys today. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please give it a thumbs up. It helps me out so much. Subscribe if you haven't already, and I will see you in my next video. Bye!